welcome to Aina-Nia Learning Journey Inc. YouTube channel, where we inform and inspire, always with the intention of supporting you to lead and live the highest version of your vision. In this conversation, we continue to explore the healing we deserve theme. We will focus today on your purpose and the possibilities of manifesting your purpose and your vision and living the life you really, really want, the life you envision through traditional wisdom systems. And of course, again, I invited another master wisdom teacher and thought leader to explore these ideas and share practical tools and techniques from traditional wisdom systems that foster always self-stewardship and personal transformation. And I don't want you to wait anymore. So I want to dive right in and welcome my longtime friend, elder, and my sage, I call him my sage, to this conversation. The Reverend Dr. Anthony Farmer, we call him the bear, grandfather, heart, and teacher, sage, all of that. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to read the bio that I have here, okay, because it's really, really important. So, Reverend Dr. Anthony Farmer, Reverend Bear, Grandfather Hart is a teacher, minister, storyteller. He is a shamanic leader. So, a shaman. We have a shaman on today, a spiritual intuit, way shower, interfaith minister at the Visions of the Heart. He is one who knows, one who sees and listens, one who guides and inspires, the light that guards the night. We're going to get into all that. I want to understand all of that. His ministry walks the path of enlightenment and walks the path of the heart. Reverend Bear, Dr. Anthony Farmer, leads a spiritual community in Maryland, USA, in the United States, and is the author of Conversations with Elders, The Sacred Journeys, volumes 1 to 3, and 40 Days of Enlightenment. Reverend Anthony, welcome, welcome, welcome again. I'm so excited about this conversation.
Thank you. I am honored to be here. I'm blessed to be here. I give thanks, and it's good to see you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It has been a while. It has been a while. So I know I was saying to my team, I said, listen, Reverend Anthony is a power in itself. Just the who you are. You know, I often think about you as this very unique leader and teacher, yet so all-encompassing, you know? And so I want to begin this conversation by first asking you about your journey to these various identities that you have. The Reverend Bear, Grandfather Hart, Reverend Anthony, and for me, Sage. Can you share with us, and as a way of introduction, this journey that took you to all of this?
Wow. Where do I begin? Okay. When I was 11, 12-ish, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, one day she was in the kitchen. She was always in the kitchen cooking, and I was there. And she said, seemingly out of the blue, she said, "You're going to be a preacher."
Mm.
And at the time, I was like, no. Number one, I don't pay attention when I go to church. I don't listen to the ministers when I go to church. The only thing I like about church is the choir. I don't think I'm going to be a minister. And the two examples that I had, my mother's church and my father's church, it's like, no, I'm just not going to be a minister. And I think after that, I went on a journey to prove her wrong.
Mm.
So if she was telling me to go, my journey is going left, I went right. And I went hard right. And I went way past religion because at the time I didn't understand spirituality, but I just went way past religion. Um, and then about when I was about 32, 33, I visited my grandmother. And and I had some experiences through that time. And she said, same grandmother, she said, "Are you preaching yet?"
Mm.
And before I could catch myself, what came out of my mouth was, "I don't think I'm going to be a pulpit minister."
Mm.
Now, notice I did not deny, but I said, "I don't think I'm going to be a pulpit minister." And she told me, she said, "That's okay as long as you teach truth."
Mm.
And so here's a woman, Baptist church, deacon board, usher board, Sunday school, vacation Bible school. She was there. And for her to say, "You don't have to be a pulpit minister," seemed to open the door for me to possibilities. That it
Mm.
did not have to look the way I thought it was supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so then uh, the next sort of major experience in my life, by then I had graduated college, moved to Illinois, civil engineer, building roads and bridges, moved to Memphis, in graduate school for business. And one day I came home and I said, um, "I'm going to try this meditation thing."
Mm.
I don't know what it was. And so after dinner, I went upstairs, sat down on the floor, back against the wall, closed my eyes. I was just, there was a knowing of what to do, even though I didn't know what I was to do. And I sat down, closed my eyes, and I felt something stir inside of me. And with my eyes closed, I felt this energy fly out of my chest,
Mm.
and I could see it. And it was an eagle. It was the spirit of an eagle that flew out the house, and I could see where it was going. And it rose high, went out across the land, over to the ocean. I saw all this, and then it came back in, and I went, something just happened. But I had no reference. I had no reference because, my family, it was a church. It was a Baptist church, either Pilgrim Baptist Church or Fourth Baptist Church or a Good Shepherd Church. But there was nothing other than that. So I
Mm-hmm.
had no reference. And then, but then that started, that opened another door. I think that happened before, maybe the same time, but anyway, that opened another door to possibilities. And then another key moment for me was I I knew something was different, but I didn't know what. And so if you're in the Western mindset,
Mm-hmm.
it's something different. You need counseling. You need a therapist. So I chose to go to see a therapist. And it was like, okay, why am I here? This isn't clicking. And he gave me a reference to a book called Spirit Emergence.
Mm.
And in it, it says, if you're having these experiences in your life, it may not be psychological, it may be spiritual. And in that, and it kind of listed some of the options of the possibilities of what could be happening. And one of them said shaman. And I dismissed it. I'm very good at dismissing the obvious, right? But later on, it came back. It was like I was having dreams. I was starting to see uh, lots of dreams that I could remember. Um, and so the doors sort of opened. The possibilities were there. And one of the challenges I had was I had no reference. I had no one to call up, no one to go to. I didn't. There were no books at the time um, that really kind of explained, because I didn't know what to call it, so I didn't know what books to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to DC, moved to Washington DC after being in Memphis for a couple of years. And I remember doodling. I would just sit and doodle sometimes, pencil, just doodle. But I was looking in a magazine, and I looked at the symbol for an advertisement. It was a spiritual magazine. And I looked at it, I'm like, I've been doodling that symbol. I've been doodling that symbol. It was the foundation for shamanic studies. And I said, okay, we got to check this out. And so I went, and boom, then that was another door that opened. And although the foundation for shamanic studies was created by a guy who's anthropologist who studied traditional indigenous cultures and noticed that there was a similarity in the spiritual nature across many different spiritual, the medicine people and shamans and wisdom keepers of the people understood it, but he was Western knowledge. It's going, wait,
Mm-hmm.
something here. It's like, it's been here. It's here long before you got here.
Yes.
But it was an introduction. It was a way for me to be introduced to that knowledge, to that energy, to that frequency, to that conversation. And I kind of tired of what they were doing. I mean, they had a purpose, and they were introducing it to the masses, and I got that. But there were questions that I had that they couldn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go to the guys who would teach some of the things, who were teaching basic information. And I would say, hey, I had this experience. They look at me and go, oh. I'm like, wait a minute. You're supposed to know this. But if I'm having this experience and I come to you and you can't, okay, there's something, nothing wrong, but something not right.
Yes. Yes.
Something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So I found myself searching for a place that I could have a conversation to understand the questions that I had in order to ask them and get the answers. I didn't even know the questions. I didn't even know the questions.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. And so and another part of my journey, and that's how we met, through intervisions and become a spiritual life coach. And I became a coach and then became part of the faculty. Excuse me. And then at one point, and I look back when I decided to go to intervisions, what drew me was they had a program where 2 years you become a spiritual life coach, and in the third year become a minister. And that's what drew me to the program. Although once I got there, I denied being a minister again. I was running from it.
The game of denial. I like that.
Oh man, I wrote the book of denial, you know. And so fast forward on the faculty, finished my 2 years of spiritual life coaching, decided to take the third year for certified coaching. And at the intensive for the third year for spiritual life coaching, I go, you know, I'm a minister. I'm a minister. And so, but I would continue with spiritual life coaching. And then at one point I said, all right, God, where are we going? You know me and the Bible. You know me and Christianity. You know me and that path. That's not me. You know that's not me, and I know that's not me. So where do we go? And one of my classmates came in that same weekend and said, I'm supposed to give you this. And it was information on New Seminary, interfaith studies. Okay. So that's where the interfaith minister part came in, spiritual life
Mm,
coach came in, introduction into walking the path of shaman came in. Um, the names, one of the names I have is uh, Urute Hamu.
mm,
And I was in Mexico working with a shaman from the Maori people from New Zealand. He was doing some work in Mexico, and
mhm,
we got connected. And I was down there doing some work, and we were at um, one of the sites, the Mayan sites. It was an old ruin down there. It was one of the smaller ones, so it doesn't get a lot of publicity. And we were doing a ritual there on the ocean, on the water. And I walked in and got there early, and the energy of the land said, "Take off your shoes. You on holy land." I said, "Okay." So I took off my shoes, and my experience was that the spirits of the land said, "We've been waiting for you."
The conversation is getting juicier. We'll be right back to it. And in the meantime, I just want to remind you that we have the 40-day activating your vision process beginning soon. So make sure you go to our website and get yourself registered. The spots are limited and you can join from anywhere in the world. Get your registration on. Check out our website, Aina-Nia.com, and go to the Activating Your Vision page and get yourself registered, my love.
And said, uh, "You are Urute Hamu,
Mm,
guardian of the bright light that guards the night." And he said, "You protected us in the past." He said, "In the past, you protect us. You walk the land at night to protect us. We've been waiting for you." And I'm going, "Okay, I don't know what water I've been drinking. I don't know what was in the food. This cannot be happening." Again, denial, right? Um, but it was telling, because the bright light that guards the night is the moon.
mm,
It's the bright light that guards the night.
mm,
The Maori shaman, Matea, told me, he said, "Your name is," he gave me the name in the Maori language. In essence, it's related to the water star. And in
mm,
their culture, the water star is the moon. And so the reference to the moon is coming in many different places, coming in
mm,
many different places, and reference to water and the connection between the moon and the water on the earth. And the last one I'll say, um, I was in the Sea Islands in South Carolina. I was down there for 10 years ago, I think it was. And I was down there to do a book reading, book signing, a workshop. And I get to down there to St. Helena Island, get out of the car, my feet, I step on the ground. And I went instantly on a shamanic journey, instantly. And the spirit said, "We've been waiting for you. We knew you were going to return, your grandfather Ocean. And your visit here is to complete the work you did when you were here." And they were dressed like in early 1800s, slaves in the early 1800s. And so that's where the name Grandfather Ocean came.
mm,
And so the ocean, the one who watches the night, the moon, the waters, all of it. Sometimes I look and say, these pieces don't fit. They're just too many pieces. And it's like, but they do. They all fit. And this is the work that I'm guided to do, is to work with the waters. And
mhm,
to translate it into my work here is to work with, to connect to the inner waters, and to guide people to work with their own inner waters, to connect to the inner waters, waters of healing, the waters of the ancestors. Uh, Jesus spoke about the living waters that will you drink the living waters, you thirst no more. It's all
mm,
connected. It's all connected. And so it's like, okay, I get it. I'm not one that's got all these hats and all these names that they don't connect. They do connect. They do connect. And my work is to guide people to their inner temple, their inner
Mhm.
their inner queendom, their inner sanctuary. And that's where the waters are. And from there, we bring forth the healing. We bring forth the inner knowing. For me, it's connected to the waters. Um, I'm not sure where.
What I know, though, what I know, if I'm listening, and it seemed to me like, do you feel that through all of these journeys, that clearly connects? I'm feeling the connection. It has it been like a rising one step? Is the connection and the journey one that is going up? Is it a circular one? What do you feel? Like, is there an evolution? Because I know, for instance, for me, I always know when there's something happening and there's a readiness for something more. So I don't know. And so even for me, often I think, is it a something more circular, like I'm going around, or is it a something more higher? I don't, that's just a thought that came to me as you were speaking. And so I wonder,
The timing of this conversation is we can't make this up. We hear this all the time. You can't make this up. And the timing of this conversation is such that in the past 6 months, I've been through an experience where a dream I had a couple of months ago, it was like I was in a room place with many people and a portal opened up and I was guided to step through the portal, and I did, and it closed. And I looked behind me and I didn't see anything. It's like the old was on the other side of the portal. I was on this side of the portal, and I'm looking out, and I can't see anybody, can't hear anybody. There's nothing out here. There is a dirt road and me. And what's been coming through in the last month or so is you're going to have to walk this part of your journey alone. This is the new journey. This is the new way. And so for me, it's I've expanded. My journey has expanded to this next level. And I'm standing here going, what? Where? Who? As each day passes, I begin to sense something out there, but I can't see it. It's not time for me to see it yet, but I can sense it. And so it's a level up, but it's also a level out. It's a level up and a level out. And what I have learned, one of the lessons that I've learned prior to, and I bring it here, is patience and surrender. Patience and surrender. And although I can't see, I cannot say I don't know. I do not have the luxury of saying I do not know, because they tell me all the time, you may not know, but you know. They say, you don't have to know. You know where to go to get the knowing. So I can't say I don't know, and I can't act like I don't know.
So you cannot, because you may not be able to see, but you can't say you don't know.
Yep.
And as long as I have known you, that's kind of been it. I have been in conversation with you. I have been around you. I've been watching you, of course, always. And you walk this mystic path.
Mm.
You don't just say it's not a term, it's not a catchy term for you. You
Mm-hmm.
genuinely walk this mystic path. And as long as I've known you, it's where are they sending you? What are they saying? I remember when Reverend Beer, I remember the moment, quite a few years ago, when Beer came out. And I was like, what's this Beer thing about now, right? And you would say, I don't know what this Beer thing about either. But why I think this conversation is so important, this walk that it's beyond, we say we do the walk of faith. This is beyond that, because
It's
we know you can't see,
faith. Faith doesn't cover it. Faith is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Surrender for me is a big part of it. What I'm picking up for about myself, what's different, one of the things that's different is denial is no longer an option. It's no longer an option. In reflection, I would go, you've been doing this for a while, but you tried to pretend you weren't.
Mm.
You tried to cover your own eyes, and it never worked. And so now it's like, stand in it. I'm like, but what am I standing in? They're like, exactly.
Mm.
And it's that type of conversation with myself. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm standing in. It's like, exactly. You don't know. But notice you're not denying that you're standing in it. And
it's kind of like when you got to the I'm a minister piece, right? This denial, and then you're like, I don't know what this is, but this minister piece.
Yeah.
And
mystic is same thing, shaman. And now the term that's showing up is priest, but it doesn't fit any established understanding of the word priest. It doesn't fit any of that, because Catholic priest or priest of this tradition or priest of this following or priest of that, it's like none of that. But it is a frequency or an energy or a song of the priest. And it's priestess. They walk hand in hand. Okay, let me. They walk hand in hand in my heart, and one does not exist without the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah.
So in the Yoruba tradition, we often talk about the Olokun, right? There is this multiple. Hey, listen. Listen.
I'm listening. I'm present. I'm ready. So Olokun.
Right? Try to put a gender on that and lock it in and see what happens.
Because my first introduction was Olokun he. Then it was like, wait a minute. Look at this. Look at this. What's showing up in your world? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I ask all the time, am I to be initiated in a particular tradition, a particular path, a particular conversation? That's like, they're like, no. And I said, well, I can't call myself a shaman. I'm not following the path of this, this, and this. And I was in Sedona several years ago, and I was walking out in the countryside of Sedona and sat on one of the rocks and just there by myself. Well, and there was a group of indigenous spirits that came to me, and they said, it's not for you to learn our culture. You're not to learn our culture. And it's not for you so much to learn our ways.
Mm.
They said, you know the heart. That's your way. And so it took me, it said, I don't need to follow the shaman, the path of the Navajo shaman or the Cherokee shaman or the Lakota shaman. That's not my path. They said, you're not to learn the culture. You know the heart. And it was like, took myself off the cross, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It opened the door to see it differently. Once again, I got locked into what it should look like because of what I saw, what I seen, and Spirit has told me time and time again, stop trying to see it for the way you think it's supposed to see it, and begin seeing it as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. Now, part of that is this way I can follow a path. The path is laid out. The steps are laid out. Can't get it wrong. Da 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 da. There's teachers and all of that. Can't get it wrong. But that way, I would be trying to put myself into a box, a comfortable box. Big box, but comfortable. Following the way that it is, there is no box. And there is no instruction manual other than follow Spirit, follow the ancestors, follow the light.
You are so right about the timing of this. One of the prayers that I do every day is the prayer of blessing my unique identity.
I love that.
And to remind me, because we live in a world that is so external and so trending. And so this prayer that I do is to remind me that of my uniqueness, and that help me to not try to be anything and anybody else than that which path has been laid out for me. And sometimes it's really, if we try to explain that, and we shouldn't try to explain that, but if we did, it would be very challenging. All I can say is, Spirit said, do this, I'm doing it. Spirit said, Reverend Anthony, got to have a conversation with Reverend Anthony. I don't know what Reverend Anthony's doing. I have no clue, Reverend Anthony, right? To this way of moving according to Spirit. And often people ask me, even this morning, Aina-Nia, how do you trust? That's why I said this faith is bigger than that. Because it's knowing. I love what you said. I'm going to hold on to that. I can't see it, but I know it. Mm-hmm. I can't deny it because I know it. Mm-hmm. And it's that's just knowing and moving in that knowing, that mystic walk. And one of the things that I remember so many things about you. My first rebirth. What is what is it called? Conscious rebirthing, going back. What is that called, Reverend Anthony? When you can see, what is that called?
Initiation?
No, it's I'll get to it. My brain won't tell me now. But I remember, so you had taken me through this journey of um, probably one of the shamanic journeys, and on that journey
Mm.
was one of the first time I had seen that I was on the enslaved ship in the transatlantic slave trade. And I was so scared. I was, when I got out of it, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And you just gently guided me to trust. It
Wow.
was one of the most beautiful, because I saw so much and it took me back. I was this little boy and and I have gone through that exercise and that experience, that process several times after that.
Past life regressions.
Past life regression. Thank you. Somebody remembers past life regression. You were the first person that took me through that. And every single time since that, it showed me the same thing in different ways. But one of the things I know that was so beautiful for me, being led by you, which is why I always call you my sage, is the gentleness and I felt so strong and so safe. And there was I know your ego exists, but in my experience, I have never been able to feel that because it was always this other thing, this spirit place that you go to, that you've taken me to. You were my Reiki master teacher. You initiated me in 3 levels of Reiki. And one day I think I was doing something. I was like, Reverend Anthony, can you do Reiki on this person? And you're like, I don't do that anymore. You at that point you had moved from that place. I'm like, I thought you were supposed to do this all the time for the rest of your life. You're the Reiki master teacher. But this is for me, the pieces of you that I've watched and observed and admired, this way that that's why I was asking you about these evolutions and these cycles that you seem to constantly be going this way, as you said, expanding, but also growing up. And so I'm telling all the stories now because there were so many. You've been on this, in Jamaica we say, just a come, you've been on this journey for so long. And the essence of you doesn't change. And you just keep serving us.
I remember I was doing a introduction to shamanic journey at Tacoma Park Chapel once. And one of the people who was there, she said to me afterwards, she says, you know why this comes to you so easily? And I'm going, no, it doesn't. But then it's like, it kind of does. She says, every time you come here, you come in this energy. Mm-hmm. You come in this energy. I was like, yeah, some things do seem easy. I mean, there is a path to it. There is a journey to it. There is a letting go of some old to embrace the new. But if I'm being honest, a lot of my journey has, I was about to lie. I was about to say it hasn't been that traumatic, but there have been some traumatic things. And lots of times we understand mental and physical traumatic experiences are often related to shamanic or energetic, mystical initiations into the next phase of your journey. Mm-hmm. But there are things that when I reflect back on things that that people tell me that I have led them through, and I would go, well, I didn't know I did that. I didn't know I was, some of the things you said, I was like, I don't remember that. Because what I've learned is there's a part of me that's out front doing the work, being guided, but there is a other part of me that seemingly has no clue what's going on.
Yes. Yes.
And so people come back and say so and so and such, and I'm going, oh, okay. Did I hurt? Did it? Was it was it helpful? Good.
Mhm.
Was it appropriate? Good, because uh, I seem to move out of me, and the energy
Yeah.
does what it does. I'm guided to do what I do, and part of me has no clue what's going on until days later, months later, sometimes years later, and it's like, oh, that's what that was. I had no clue. And so when I look at my journey, my life that way, it's like my website, I go, well, what do I put on my website about what I do? I don't know, because on Mondays I feel like this, and on Tuesdays I feel like this, and on Wednesdays I do like this. And if someone calls and asks for some guidance, I shift into something else. So how do you capitalize that into a website, in
Yeah.
a phrase? And I was like, I give up. I surrender.
Yeah.
And it'll be what it'll be.
Yeah. I remember when I finished my book, and uh some PR person wanted to, to represent me. And we had a conversation. And in that conversation, I remember, well, you're kind of complex. I don't know. How do you put me into this any one box? There is
Right.
no box to put me in. Don't do that, because that could hurt you, right? Don't try to do that. You can't put me in a box. I want to shift just a little bit, Reverend Anthony, to this
Mm-hmm.
whole idea about healing. So often, the narrative about healing is, it almost seems like healing is this crisis thing. It's like a crisis response. What I know, from an indigenous place, as indigenized traditions and experiences, is that healing is an all the time, everyday thing, right? If we can just we're healing every day, as long as we live on this planet, in this body, we're always healing. So this idea that healing is some reward for the righteous, for instance, right? And it's this crisis response. So I think we definitely know differently. And so as wisdom teachers, and so we know, for instance, it's a necessity. So I want you to just talk with us a little bit about how you see healing, and how healing can actually, so this holistic healing, this way of living, this everyday healing thing, can actually support us in being our best and greatest, the best and greatest version of ourselves.
Healing, and there are so many definitions of healing, so many understandings of healing, so many various levels of the conversation of healing. As you were talking, I was hearing healing is the journey of realizing our wholeness.
Hmm.
It's
Let
the
me just
journey.
hold
I
on.
did, I
I
need to,
want
I did that. It is the journey of realizing our wholeness.
to.
So we speak that we are whole. I am whole. I am complete. I am light, and there is an understanding of that. But then there is are we walking that?
Mhm.
Are we really walking that? And so healing is about the realization, the full realization of our wholeness or our oneness. And so the various ways of healing, be it, you know, and the other thing about healing is about balance.
Mm.
And so we are constantly, our wholeness is in a state of balance, but then being in this realm, in this plane, on this earth, we're constantly being bombarded, influenced by energies that keep us out, throw us out of balance. And so when we get to this level of I have healed this, and it's like as soon as you say I have healed, whoosh, here comes something that's going to throw you out of balance. Be it something physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic, even um, if somebody, I don't know why this reducing weight is coming up, probably because there's something I need to look into for myself on a physical level. But if I go on the journey to release some weight to get to a sense of balance for who I am, and if I lose, say I want to lose 25 pounds, and I lose that 25 pounds, and I go, I exhale, and it's like exhale, but then realize your body was used to being 25 pounds more. So now all the internal systems have to adjust to this new weight. There's still more healing to happen. And then the physical is connected to the emotional, is connected to all of it's connected. So we're constantly healing because we're constantly realizing our wholeness, our oneness, our truth. And it just plays out in many different ways, many different systems, many different aspects of ourselves. And so it becomes healing is not the destination, it's the journey.
Ask, what is Spirit's highest version of my vision at this time? And go into meditation. Just get still. And then ask, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What must I embody so that this can be realized? What must I embrace so this can be realized? And then what must I release that this can be realized? What may be blocking your vision from going fully, from you going completely and fully living your vision? What might that be? And let's release it. And you might have to release it several times. But I would say if you're getting nudged for the next level, it's time.
It's the journey. Surrender is an act of healing. It supports healing. Breathing supports healing. Conversations like this support healing. It helps to move energy. It helps to free up energies. It helps to move out the stagnant. It helps to release the old and welcome in the new. We go to sleep and our bodies go through a healing. Bodies heal themselves when we rest. And then we wake up and it's a new day and the sun comes out, or what have you. We get a phone call, and sometimes you get that phone call in the morning and everything, you wake up peaceful, and that phone call sends you into hell. It's like, okay, I gotta remember to breathe. So it's a constant, it's a constant journey. But it's not that there's so many things that we have to continue to do. Healing becomes our way of living. When it becomes your way of living, it's not a chore. Breathe. When we breathe, we're healing. When we smile, we're healing. When we eat, we're healing. When we drink, we're healing. And then the deeper aspects of healing also become part of our consciousness, such that it's not I need to go do something in addition to. It's like it's already part of my consciousness. Let me just invite that in. And so healing is a way of being. It's a way of being. It's our way of being that leads to the doing. It's a way of being that leads to the. My head is hot. My neck is hot. The energy is very, very present. And I'm tickled at what I'm saying because I'm not sure I've ever said it like this before. But nonetheless. And so it's constant. It's continual. It's a way of being. Each step that we take on our journey takes us further to the full realization of who we are and what we are. And that's healing.
Wow, that's powerful.
One of the things that Spirit has guided me into understanding is the concept of medicine. And everything is medicine. Everything can be medicine. And medicine is an energy that comes in many different frequencies, many different vibrations, many different ways it can show up, that supports us in our healing, that supports us in our walking our purpose, to support us in realizing the best uh, vision of ourselves. Everything is medicine. If it supports you to elevate, enlighten, empower, it's medicine. Be it in the form of sacred smoke or an herbal tea, even if in the form of some of the Western ways that medicine shows up in pills or what have you. If its intention is to support us in our healing, in our balance, in our uplift, and living our best life, it's medicine. And then again, we take it in balance. Too much water will drown us. Too much fire will burn us. The right amount of fire, the right amount of air, because your body can only bring in so much air at a time. So it's in balance. Community is medicine. Being in a sacred space with like-minded, like intentional beings that understand the concept of Ubuntu,
Mm-hmm.
that I am here. I am because you are because I am, and the individual supports the community as the community supports the
Yeah.
individual. That's medicine.
Medicine.
Reading a book that brings laughter to your heart is medicine. Um, Watching a TV, and TV, you gotta be careful with TV because it's somebody else is feeding you their story. But if you know that, and a TV show brings a memory to your spirit, that makes you feel good because it's your story. That's medicine. But if you're watching TV and you think that because it's on TV, that's true and that's right, and I need to live like that person, that's not medicine.
Yeah.
That's propaganda, for lack of a better term. So healing is continual, and living our best life, living our highest vision, realizing our highest vision requires that understanding of healing. Surrender is healing. Trust is healing. Faith is healing. But blind faith to something that you have no concept of, I don't see that as healing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in this because it's in this book, and this book is truth, and because that it's like, okay, fine. Now, when you read that book, what does the book tell your heart? How does your spirit resonate with what's in that book? That's the healing part. Not so much the regurgitating it because it's in the book. That book has been changed. All of them have been changed over time. But the essence in the book, the truth in the book, the medicine in the book is there, but you have to open up to that. Yeah. So everything can be medicine. And our journeys are it's a journey of healing. Full realization of our oneness. Ooh.
Listen, I'm sitting here and I was writing a lot, and then I thought, you know what? I can't wait to replay this. So I can't replay this because I can't write fast enough. I just doing so much,
I'm gonna have
so much,
yeah. Ooh.
so much. Because one of the things that there's so many things that you just said, but this, when you started to talk about all these things being medicine, and when you first said surrender is medicine, kind of threw me back. I don't know if I heard the next thing you said, because I was surrender is medicine. Surrender is a medicine. So, Reverend Anthony, are you saying that in our crisis, in our times when, like you said, you get that, you wake up in peace and you get that phone call, and you get a whiplash because now everything has changed and your peace have been disrupted. Are you also saying that if we can pull on our medicine, whatever that is, even the consciousness to watch the TV show to see that it's a story that might be good to your heart. You talked about heart a lot in all of what you were saying. You kept going back to the heart. Where is it in the heart? Are you saying that if we can live in that consciousness and move to the medicine in a world that we're living in right now, that you and I know what is really happening, but the rest of the world and most folks are seeing it as chaotic. But in this world that we're living in right now, where can, with all that you've shared, how can somebody reach for their medicine quick enough that the external stuff that is happening, the wars of all kinds, all of that does not penetrate their heart?
The first step is we observe what's going on and we find ourselves reacting to what's going on, be it big scale, small scale. The first medicine is to breathe. Because that breath, that conscious breath, can take you out of to okay. And the breath can support you in shifting your shifting from reacting to it, oh my god, to a response, which is you get no further than this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you look into your medicine bag, and we all have one. We just have never been taught this from a conversational point, that you got a medicine bag, you got tools to use to shift you out of this. What are your tools? You got a prayer. Is it a prayer? God, lift me out of this. If that's your prayer, use it, but use it with conviction. Is meditation you're one of your medicines, one of your tools? Is getting up and walking around the room, out the house, in the backyard, or wherever, is that one of your medicines in your medicine bag? Then let's use it. If you're a person of the Course of Miracles, and I'm not a Course of Miracles person, but I think there's 2 lessons that I know. One of them is I can see peace instead of this.
Yeah.
That's medicine, because it can get you out of this into I can see peace instead of this.
Yeah.
That's medicine. What is it? Sometimes people say, not my monkeys, not my circus. If that, not my monkey, not my circus. Although I'm prone to be a pro monkey, but I understand that may get you out of this in the moment. Drink a sip of water, because that sip, you have to be conscious of drinking. That can shift you out of this coming in.
Yeah.
And that can give you a moment to shift into something else. If it's on the TV, turn the TV off. If it's on social media, turn it off. Turn it off. Get away. Walk away. There's so much going on. And it looks very chaotic. And it is very chaotic. And sometimes I catch myself, it's like, what are they doing? Da, 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 da. I said, we need grandmothers in that White House. That man does not have the influence of a grandmother, and we need indigenous grandmothers and grandfathers. And da, 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 da. I said, okay. And then couple of days ago, I think Sunday's message, I ended up talking about where is the divine feminine in all of this patriarchal mess. There is no honor of the feminine energies. Nowhere.
That's a part of the
Nowhere. And
problem. It's a big part of
why
the
it's
problem.
so out of balance. There is no honor. Mother's Day, and there's no honor of the mother.
Yeah.
Beyond a Hallmark card and some flowers. And I have to catch myself, Anthony. But what am I supposed to, Anthony? Breathe. Okay, I get. Let me breathe. So we have to start small. The breath, the prayer, turning off social media, hugging a tree.
Yeah, how about
Walking in a garden. Go to your neighbors and sniff their flowers. Not sniff, but smell their flowers. Doing something small, but yet significant to shift you out of that frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I recognize is with all the chaos that's going on, chaos is also a call for creativity.
Yes.
What are you creating?
Yes.
In all of this, what are you creating?
Yes.
What are you creating? Uber came out of an economic crisis. Uber came up out of economic crisis. The shutdown across the world with that COVID, a lot of people went in and came out with ideas for things.
Yeah.
We got major chaos going on. If we can keep it in the consciousness of chaos, it opens the door for order. Because order follows chaos.
Yeah.
But order, what we don't want is we don't want someone else's order to come in and order inside. You got chaos on the inside, you call in divine wisdom, ancestors, spirit, God, to help you bring order to the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to defeat chaos. You don't want to look at chaos as the enemy or the opponent. Chaos is a natural state that leads to order, that leads to design, that opens the door for creativity. And so when all this is going on, ask yourself, what can I create?
Yeah.
What can I create? Well, I can. Yes, you can. Can you draw? Can you paint? Can you cook? Can you build? Can you write a story? Can you sing a song? Something that gets the creative energies flowing. Get on the phone and ask her, what you create today? What did you create today? But get into the consciousness of when chaos comes up and it starts to feel like disorder and crisis, create. Bring in creation. Be open to create. Ask God to show you something different. Ask Spirit to show you something different. Ask yourself, can I see something different? Am I willing to see something different? And a lot of times in this country, with that being disrespectful, the person in the White House,
Yes.
and I got off track. Oh well.
You're on track.
Oh, the conversation about they're here to destroy democracy. And I say, no, he's not. He's really here to test democracy. And so the truth is, how does democracy respond?
Yes.
He's not here to destroy it. He's here to test it. He's threatening it. He's pushing it. He will take over if allowed. The question becomes not, is he here to destroy it? The question is, how does democracy respond?
Kind of similar. Go ahead.
And democracy must not respond to the way it used to, because the way it used to led us to this. So democracy is at a point where it needs to and all that with democracy, do something different. It's time to rebirth yourself. It's time to elevate yourself. And you cannot do what you did to solve where you are, because that way, what you did before got us here, and we don't want to get here again. That sounds like a preach, don't it?
I was thinking exactly that. I said, look at that topic. It's ready. Reverend Anthony, I wish we had, you have to come back.
Yes.
You have to come back. But before we go, a couple of things I want to, you have 2 books, at least 2 books out there, at least you volumes of books. And so I want you to share where, I saw it on Amazon, so it's an easy thing. But one of the things that our folks are going to do, we'll be putting text across. So we know that your website is under construction. So how do people, folks, let me tell you this. If you want a shaman, spiritual guide, a healer of all sorts, somebody who listens and knows, you want to talk to Reverend Anthony Farmer, Reverend Beer, Grandfather Hart, all of the above, and even more. So how do folks get in touch with you?
I'm on social media, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, Anthony Farmer. My website is revanthonyfarmer.com. On the front page, I think it's still up there, there is a button you can hit to schedule an intuitive conversation with me.
Go on the services, go right to services, and it's there.
Yeah. So I, do spiritual intuitive readings, conversations. The reading, I will say it's well, again, it's, I don't do the tarot readings. I don't do necessarily tarot, although I see the cards, but that's a way to get in touch with me. And I'm actively updating the website for some other things that are coming down the pike. I'm writing a book on 17 songs of the heart, spiritual guidance on how to nurture your spiritual heart and to gain wisdom and guidance on that. That's one of the 3 books I'm writing.
3 more books.
Yeah. I enjoy what I do. I fuss about it because it's like, God, you got me doing too many things. I can't do all this at one time. And it's like, well, we're not asking you to do everything at one time, one at a time. But I'm on social media, Facebook. You can find me there. I hang out there. I probably need an intervention from social media, but I'm there and you do what I do, or the website, to just have a conversation. And however I am guided to support you, I will. Woo. Okay.
Check out. Reverend Anthony didn't mention. Check out Conversation with Elders. That was one of your first books, right? One of your first sets of books.
That was the first book. It's my conversations with the 4 elders, the elders of air, water, fire, and earth. And they're my spiritual elders. And they appeared when the last of my 4 grandparents transitioned to spirit. And there's a connection with the element and how they were in my life. And so they are the ones I go to for spiritual guidance. They're a group of them that I go to. So I was guided to keep track of the journeys and put it in a book form.
Beautiful. And then there is the 40-day of enlightenment.
Yes, I forget about that. My journey is a journey of enlightenment. And part of my denial was it doesn't look like what we are taught enlightenment is supposed to look like. And for me, enlightenment means know yourself.
Mm. First,
Enlightenment means know yourself, know all aspects of yourself. And so the more we know ourselves, the more of that what we thought was is alleviated, is
mhm,
released. And when you
mhm.
release all that stuff that was caked on, what's remaining is light. So that's why I say
Oh, does a grandfather have anything more for us to hear at this time? Because we're coming back.
I will say this for everyone, every all of us, even myself, is something I say these days. Um, have a beautiful experience. May today bring you a beautiful experience.
Wow. I feel full. I feel full.
You,
I know that the people who are going to experience this conversation will be in overflow. Folks, we are so excited. I know you're going to watch this many times. And each time you go to watch it, please have your notebook or your pen or your your phone or whatever you have. What a delicious conversation. Reverend Anthony, I love you. I so love you.
I
I
love
met
you. Deep bow, deep bow.
won't tell the world all the stories, but there are so many stories. And I love you. You are part of why I am who I am today. And so you have held me, you have held me, you have guided me, and I am so grateful. So grateful. Blessings,
I
everyone.
thank you, and this is significant for me. This conversation, it was significant for me. I don't think I've ever been as present and as I've been on this conversation. This is, thank you.
Well, they told me to get you, so here we go.